Alrighty guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we are going to be installing this HEI distributor which is needed to run a carbureted setup. And these are the instructions. What I'm going to show you is how to properly read instructions. Yeah, that's how you do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to pop this hood. We're going to set this motor to top dead center on that number 1 cylinder, and we're going to start this distributor. And hopefully I get it right the first time, which I'm probably not going to, but let's get into the video. Alright guys, I jumped ahead. I took out that number 1 spark plug and I tried to turn the motor over by the crank bolt. It would not spin. Now I don't believe that this motor is locked up because I got it to spin from the back of the flywheel. Even when I was out the car I couldn't get it to spin from the front, so I'm just assuming that's from either rust or sitting up too long. What I did was I connected the starter, and I'm gonna try and crank the car from the starter. It's highly likely that it won't work, but we'll see what happens. Alright, hold on. Oh, wheel's locked. Nothing. Not a thing. Alright, not getting anything from it. Not a thing. Alrighty. I don't know how to get this. It's a bump now. Oh, that's because I have the I have this computer still hooked up and that anti-theft thing is going off, so alright, I gotta figure that out and then I'll continue the video. Alright guys, so I figured out why it wouldn't start. It seems like I have the right starter. I'm hoping so. There's this wire that comes from the other side. You know, there's a positive and then you put the negative on the motor. And then there's this wire that was connected to a ground. It seems like you have to connect this one to a hot when you swap it to, I guess, from the automatic to this one. So it's rolling over fine now. I'll just have to run this to a switch, and then from the back side of that switch I'll have to run it to the positive, turn my key on, and then flip that switch so I can start the car. So I'm getting it to roll over. I'm gonna see if I can get it to roll over with the ratchet now that it's I guess moving. If not, I'll just have someone to roll it until I feel that compression come from that number 1, and then I will stab the distributor. Alright guys, just turning on this light so I can show you that I'm at top dead center. There's the little indicator there, and there is the 0. And what I did is the same way that I was cranking it before. I just put my finger over this number 1 plug hole and I held the starter wire. Where the hell did it go? Oh, I held the starter wire and just cranked it until I touched the starter wire onto the battery until it cranked, until it reached top dead center. So now I am going to be stabbing the distributor, and once the rotor cap points directly to this number 1 cylinder, I should be good to go, and then I should wire it up, and hopefully then I could wire up the fuel, wire up the distributor, and that's all I will need just to get an initial start. That's if it even starts up. Like I said, you know, junkyard motor, so who knows what it's gonna do. But let's continue pushing on. Alright guys, I took the cap off of the distributor. I have it set to, if you look, it'll run right down and point like little after this number 1 cylinder. Looks like it's a little after. I don't know if I have to set that again, but I'm gonna go with that for now. And what I wanted to show you is how you find your number 1 is when you rest your cap on. When you rest your cap on, whichever pin is closest to this cap, which is this one right here, will be your number 1 cylinder. That's where your number 1 wire would come from. I'm gonna now stop recording and wire up these spark plug wires, and then probably get some fire to this distributor and see what we can get out of it. If that timing is close enough, or if I have to stop it again and try again. But before I even try to crank it again, I'm gonna have to get my fuel pump pumping so that when I crank it, I could at least hear to see if it's trying to run or what it's doing. So I'll get that all buttoned up. Alright guys, we lost a lot of light. I had to go and get some spark plug wires, some connectors to attach my battery wire in here for this connector right here for the tach on the battery, and then I had to get some ATF for the gearbox, and then a seal for the back of the tranny just to make sure that it doesn't leak. So I'm gonna try set the timing, and then I think I'm gonna call it a day. I get the fuel pump running tomorrow, and yeah, got a lot done today. Pressure regulator, fuel pressure regulator is hooked up. Distributor should be hooked up by the end of the day. Let's keep on pushing. Alright guys, I know it's not been the first time that I've been wrong on this channel, but I had this number one thing all wrong. You need to aim your rotor cap at where the number one plug would go on the distributor. I marked it right here with a little X. I don't know if you could see that, but I have it going right where it needs to be, and I'm gonna put the cap back on and put the wires on, and I think I'm gonna call it a day, guys. So, because I'm losing light, so let's get those wires on and that'll be it for me. Alright guys, I got the distributor pinned down. I know it's at number one. I got it a bit slack so that when I come back tomorrow and I hook up the fuel, I can, I guess, play with it to get it started, or hopefully get it started. But that's it for today. We installed the HEI distributor. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.